Hi everybody. I was going to clean up some hardware here for this hitch, and I discovered, this tractor hasn't had a lick of paint on it so far, right? I mean, I'm not exaggerating. I haven't found any green on any parts yet. Well, I found my first remnants, as you can see in the threads there, a little tiny bit of green paint. And there was on that one, just a little speck of it right there. I thought that was kind of interesting and actually very surprising, considering, so those are the bolts to bolt all these together here, right? I thought that was rather interesting that there actually is any green paint on them, because like I said, I was pretty sure that this is not factory. So finding green paint on there leads me to maybe reevaluate my opinion on that. Maybe. I suppose there's a chance that this tractor was ordered to be set up with whatever implement that it had on it from new, and maybe the factory threw together this hitch setup and put it on there from new. I don't know. Or I guess there's always that chance that it was made later, either by the dealer or the farmer or blacksmith after it was bought, and then they just painted it green to match the tractor. I mean, that's very possible and likely too, but I just thought that was worth showing and noting before before I completely cleaned up these bolts and got rid of all that evidence. But it's definitely green paint. That's kind of neat. Well, not much to show here, but a little update. Okay, hardware wise, I've just been going through, cleaning up some hardware, chasing all the threads, boring stuff, figuring out what I need to order. Discovered that some things aren't quite right here. So these are the ones for the front of the hitch, go up into the transmission housing. Got them all cleaned up. I'm going to order a new one of these because they're pretty bad shape and it doesn't match the other one. So let's get a new one of them to match that one. That's all done. Okay. These 5/8 bolts were to go through there. Rounded up a couple lock washers for that. That's all good. Okay. These 1/2-inch bolts were in here. Well, that doesn't make much sense because their holes are big enough for 5/8 hardware. So this 1/2-inch stuff isn't really even the right stuff. So I'm not even sure why that was there. So I'm going to actually order up some 5/8 square-headed bolts and nuts and use that instead. Replace these. These are the 3 for the steering gear. Got them all cleaned up. The factory ribbed lock washers. If you remember, one of the nuts was missing. Well, this works out good because I can take one of those nuts now. So that's complete. Like I said, this will go into inventory, leftover parts. I'll replace it. And we'll pretty much be set for hardware for all this then. So it's just a matter of figuring out what I'm going to do to tune up this belt pulley, and I'm kind of getting all the loose ends tied up here. So not a whole lot of progress to show this week, but it's kind of just a little behind the scenes ordering up stuff and figuring out what parts to get and what's going to work and what isn't going to work and all that kind of not so fun stuff. So next we're going to go work on a different project here now. It might be it for this week. So as far as the 612 goes, I might just sign off and thank you for watching. And I don't know if I'll even post this up this week. I might just hold this footage for a future week and actually get an actual video's worth. But thanks for watching. So here's our setup. We got two great big pusher plates, one up against the flange here, two hydraulic jacks in between, another pusher plate up against the drawbar, which is bolted solid, another chunk of pipe, and a block with a heavy bolt to stop that, because we were actually jacking this up without this, and the drawbar was actually slipping on there, believe it or not. So we added that today, jacked it up as tight as we could, put as much pressure on it as we could, took the weed burner, heated this up a little bit, and pow, she let loose. It jumped about a half an inch or so. So now we're going to keep working on, hopefully get it the rest of the way out here, but I think we got her licked now. It was, that was a good surprise to see that finally come free. I turned it down.
No popping that time.
Tried
We might have to let
pump
it
the
cool.
jacks a little bit more maybe.
Let it cool too.
Here.
Yeah, we may have to
Let her cool
down
off here.
and try
Yep.
it again.
It scares us every time. So that's what we've been doing. We heat it up with the jacks fully loaded until it lets go a little bit like that, moves a little bit, and then we pump up the jacks and just let it cool off completely and repeat. We've done that, what, 3 or 4 times now, I suppose? And every time it goes just a little bit farther, but it's stuck in there. It's too dark, can't see. It's stuck in there pretty good. But see, now we can pump up the jacks. We're probably gaining, what, 1/4 inch or something each time, I suppose. It's a slow process, but we're winning. Creak, creak, creak. How warm are we? Well, we can maybe do another cycle. Or should we let it cool?
How is it? I can heat on that side of it.
Yeah, let's try it once more here. again. And now it's pretty warm, so yeah, we'll let her cool off. Yeah, we might be to the point where we can get her farther here. It's actually it's coming. So we might be past the point of really stuck. Because before we've only gotten one pop out of it. Now it's keeping moving.
I think we're doing good now. Yeah, she's coming easy now.
Yeah, it's actually not popping. It's
Sliding out now.
how much farther? We got a couple more inches to go, I suppose.
I'm gonna get some on mine so the jack don't fall out.
Okay, suppose we should block things up here.
Yeah, this is kind of crooky here. There. Okay.
Because this straps should catch that part,
I got this under there.
and this should
This
kind of catch this.
Catch this.
So we should be able to keep going,
I'm gonna
right?
move the tank out of here.
Yeah.
So it does fall, don't wreck something.
Safety third. I think we're at the end of our cylinder here. Yeah.
Could be. We'll have to put some blocks in.
Put some blocks.
Okay, I'm gonna go get some blocks.
Reset. There, we won. We got it apart. It's not nearly as bad as what we thought it was going to be either. Of course, it's crusty, but it's not really that rusty and pitted or anything. It just needs a really good cleaning.
That was some crusty grease.
Yeah. So we're just looking at how the whole grease system works here. So obviously there's a grease cup that goes here instead of the grease zerk. That goes in to this groove here that goes all the way around this part. And then there is a groove, where is that? Somewhere here, there it is. That the grease can work its way there into this cavity, which lubes this wear ring and keeps where that's pivoting lubed. And then there's little grooves in that wear ring to get on that face of it, which is where this collar rides up against, which is what bolts on there, which is what keeps the pipe located in this casting because it's flanged. So it can't go in because of there, and it can't come out because of that. That's what locates it. So it lubes that as well. So eventually, if you pump enough grease in there, it'll eventually work its way all the way out, and then all the way out the back, inside there. But which is good though, because I'd rather see a little excess. Well, a little groove go that way too. I'd rather see a little excess so this doesn't get stuck again. I'm like version 3 or 4 of trying to get these pins out. We got our little homemade little press. We put even better bolts in, grade 8 bolts. We robbed the 20-ton jack out of the real press and put in here.
I think we should try some heat.
I think we might try a little heat now, yeah. Because nothing's moving. It's being difficult. Well, we're getting hot, tired, and frustrated here. I haven't been filming the last couple of the things we've tried because, like I said, we're getting frustrated. We're on about version 4 of press here to try to get these pivot pins out of the 612. Everything, so we started with the, I don't know where they are at the moment. Oh, right here. The whole rod thing like Dad used to get these linkages apart. And got the heat too close and the rods failed. Okay, so we went to our little, we have just a little homemade press with a little 3-ton hydraulic jack. Put that in there. That wasn't working. So we stole the 20-ton jack out of the big press. Put that in the 3-ton frame. Well, can you guess what happened? That's what happened. We broke it. So, on to version 4, we made new beefier uprights out of some junk we had laying around. And currently we have it jacked up about as high as we can go with the 20-ton press. And we had heated it up with the rosebud and nothing. Nothing. Like I said, we're getting frustrated here. We thought this would be the easy part. You know, this was supposed to be the hard part, and in retrospect, in comparison, that was actually fairly easy. You know, it took us about a day, but we got it apart. Now we've been screwing around with trying to get these pivot pins out for at least a couple of days here, 3 days now, maybe. So yeah, I don't know. We'll check back if I have something to update. Not going so great. Woo! My heart's just racing. I'm excited. It finally moved. It popped. So again, this morning here, it's what, Friday morning here now. We're working on this stupid thing all week. We let it all pumped up under 20-ton pressure all last night. Came out this morning here now. I put a bunch of heat to it with the rosebud of the torch, and finally, pow! She let loose. We moved up that, whatever, 1/4 inch or so. So now it's just a matter of coming up with some new little bar to push it up, rest of the way up through that bore. But good, it's loose now, so we got it licked. As long as we're careful the rest of the way, it should come out. So I'm excited. That's, and as far as I know, nothing else broke, so that's a good thing. That's just my biggest fear. I probably said this before in the videos, but I'm scared doing a lot of heating on these cast parts, especially these, because they're irreplaceable parts. If I broke them, I'm not going to find a replacement. I'm going to have to get them fixed, re-welded, or recast, or whatever, because there's no replacement parts for these tractors out there. A couple of casualties. A little bit too close with the flames going around on those ratchet straps, and they do not tolerate heat at all. So we got down a couple of ratchet straps, but they were kind of junkier ones anyway, so that's okay. Yeah, we'll continue pushing here, see if we can get this pin out, and then transfer the whole works up to the top pin and do the whole thing over again. Taking apart the sulky here. Bring back some more parts to North Dakota with me when I go home. We have not succeeded in getting this apart yet. We got it to pop another, 3/16 or so this morning. That's it. So we've got a long way to go. We're throwing in the towel on that project for at the moment, because I'm not going to be able to bring it back with me. So I'm rounding up some other parts to bring back to work on instead. Some kind of engine-related stuff, clutch stuff, oil pan, front cover, manifolds. I'm going to go dig up in the loft now and grab a few more engines things.